What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to look at why rap is struggling in 2023. So if you don't know, rap, hip-hop, whatever you want to call it, hasn't been having the best year this year. And if you looked at my previous videos that I've talked about rap, hip-hop hadn't had a #1 album for about 6-7 months of the year until Lil Uzi Vert dropped his Pink Tape album. Shortly after that, or before that, I'm not exactly sure when this happened, but Lil Baby had to cancel some dates on his tours and cancel some cities that he wanted to go visit. Lil Durk also had to cancel his tour. So there's just been a plethora of things that's been happening with hip-hop, and hip-hop isn't on the decline. It's not all the way there yet, but it has been stagnant, in my opinion, for a couple years. But now it's just starting to show in the sales, in the fans' interest of it, and in many areas where it once thrived before for so many decades. And I want to jump into this video right now. So here are 5 reasons why I believe hip-hop is struggling in 2023. The first reason is the reason that a lot of people will give is that it's just too repetitive. And when I say repetitive, I don't just mean in the music aspect, whether it's the beats, whether it's the flows. I mean in kind of all aspects of the genre right now, it's very repetitive. It seems like for the past 5 years, we've been hearing the same type of beats, the same type of trap beats, the same type of drums, the same type of flows on it. Artists doing what the very popular artists are doing in the same way and just mimicking it, which again makes sense because you want to be on too in the hip hop scene. But at the same time, it just creates this repetitiveness that isn't good for the genre itself. Don't get me wrong, when Migos came out, and they really started in like 2011, 2012 with their mixtapes that they dropped in Versace, and that's really what put them on the map when they had Drake on the feature. But ever since then, to Bad and Bougie, when they dropped the Culture album, they really changed hip-hop in the way that hip-hop was going to be heard as well. The beats were different, the flows were different. That triple flow that Takeoff perfected, rest in peace to Takeoff, was an insane influence on what happened in rap for the next couple of years up until today. Just like those before them in Atlanta, they paved the way for a lot of new rappers and the way a lot of rappers sound today. They really emphasized that sound and made it as popular as it is, and helped cultivate and push hip-hop and the genre into a different space. And the flows at first were amazing, and it was new. And that was such a great period of hip-hop because you could have whatever you wanted, and you still can today, kind of, but you could have conscious rap with Kendrick Lamar, you could have trap with the Migos, you could have Joey Badass with 1999, you could have Wiz Khalifa, you could have Odd Future on the West Coast. Like, that era and that period in time for music was just amazing, specifically in hip-hop, because there were so many different genres, and it was a time where whatever you wanted to hear, whatever you wanted to listen to, you could get it. I was still part of the mixtape era where Dat Piff was on top, and that's how artists really got their buzz. That's how artists really got known and noticed in the industry, from record labels and from fans as well. And like I said, it was great when it started. The problem is that everybody took that flow, everybody took those beats, everybody used those two things together, and for the next decade at this point, almost everything has sounded like that. And that is the issue, and that's why we struggle to get new things in rap right now, and that's why we have that repetition that I spoke of earlier. And it feels like there's no subgenres in rap anymore. Everything is trap. All the popular songs are trap. All the new up-and-comer rappers are doing trap. It seems like we're trapped in trap. I'm not trying to be funny with that joke. I literally just thought about it, and it's not even a joke, but it literally feels like that. There are very few real and concrete subgenres of rap right now. It feels like, again, we're just stagnant and staying in the same place, and we're rapping about the same things. We're rapping the same way. Every beat sounds the same or sounds so similar that you can't distinguish who the beat is. And not to mention, a lot of these rappers are just biting off of each other and taking another one's style. Like, how many Lils do you know now? There's Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Lil this, Lil that. Like, everybody's a Lil. And I understand why. Again, if somebody took that and they ran with it and they made it popular and they made a living and a career off of it, why wouldn't you try it? The problem is now hip-hop isn't in the best place, and these big artists, 2 years ago, if you would have told me that they're canceling shows and tours, I would not believe you. because they at one point were the future of hip hop. And it seemed like they were kind of branching out into trying different things within hip hop and different sounds within hip hop, but then they just got sucked right back in and continued to make the same hip hop that they've been making and that they feel comfortable making. Problem with that is that everybody's making the same hip hop and nobody's really standing out from one another. And this leads me to point 2 of why I think hip hop is struggling right now, and that's no innovation, and a lot of people are just lazy. So I want to preface this by, I'm a very, very hard music critic, and you know, when I wrote my articles, which I always promote, I wrote my articles about music, I never talked about albums that I didn't like, because I didn't want to put a negative spin out there on the world. I just wanted to give you positive. I just wanted to give positive messages, and I just wanted to talk about music that I really loved, and I wanted to talk about music that I think that other people will really like and that people will love also at the same time. So when I critique music, I try to have a reason for why I critique music. I don't just want to say it's trash and that's it and leave you with nothing. I want to have reasons behind it. And a lot of times I just don't feel like going into depth on why I don't like albums or don't like artists or don't like a music that they put out or anything like that. So I just leave it at that. But the thing that, you know, after talking with people who are in the hip hop industry, whether it's radio, whether it's music itself, and being in the studio, talking to producers, A&Rs, and rappers themselves and all that, is that rap is blending a lot. Like a lot. It seems like we're at a point where every rapper has to be the same person in order to make it, and that's not fair to the rapper, that's not fair to the audience, that's not fair to anybody. Everybody should be able to express themselves and their individuality just as they want to. But it feels like they're forced to do this to then get to the next level and then to be mainstream, because I don't know what sound is going to take over hip hop next, but I'm just curious to see. And lastly, this is not fair, but it is a criticism as well. There's just too many artists. I'll never knock anybody for trying and for wanting to be an artist and for wanting to express their art, but there's a lot of people. It's so many people, and it's hard to keep up with as well. It's hard to listen to everybody. It's hard to give every single person a chance, and at the same time it can feel overwhelming because there's so many rappers in the space and so many new rappers every single day in the space, and everybody wants to make it, of course, but not everybody can make it. And for those who don't make it, they don't really last long in the game. That's why I was so upset with the XXL Freshman Cypher, because I'm like, if you really want to have longevity, you have to distinguish yourself. You have to distinguish yourself, and you have to really try your best and your hardest to make yourself known and visible and really stand out from everybody else. My next point, which is culture and society. Since rap became the biggest and the most profitable genre in the world, rappers have seemed to have taken that and taken the love from rap and change it to the necessity to rap, or the necessity to get money from rapping. In no time period has rap and society and culture been more intertwined than today. The internet and social media, we're so close to rappers and just celebrities in general that it feels like we're right there with them in a lot of ways, which is good sometimes, but also can be very negative. And the negative side is that we love rappers who are authentic to themselves and to the streets and to the places that they come from. And what's more authentic than a rapper who's living what he's rapping about literally today, literally 24/7. They are simultaneously living those lives and then going to the booth 3 hours later to record what just happened in their life. This all started, like I said before, with drill rap in Chicago, where they would be documenting their life that they're living and activities that they would get themselves into, and it would be posted on Twitter, it'd be posted on Instagram, and that's really what started the wave of posting all the stuff that you do on social media. And what happened after that? Everybody followed suit. Ever since then, rap changed completely. And what genre followed suit is Bronx drill. For many reasons, Bronx drill has been in the news in the last couple of years. A lot of it, again, negative for high murder rates and all that stuff that I'm not going to get into in this video. But they really took that social media stuff to the next level. We're going on Instagram Live, just doing everything live. These are teenagers and these are kids that are still in high school, some of them, or just getting into college or should be getting into college, doing all of this live. And the real life that they live has definitely been put on notice, and the fans aren't the only one to notice it. Labels have been noticing it and following it just as much as the police have. And label's sole purpose, or maybe I shouldn't say sole, a label's purpose is to get money for the label so they could then have new artists and more artists to put music out and get more money. But again, money is the purpose of a label. It's just like any other business, and they just want to make a profit. The problem is that these labels are using real life stories, real life trauma, and real life things that these, again, teenagers and kids go through to then fatten their pockets up, while these kids have to deal with all the trauma of everything that they rap about and live about. The label funds the rappers by obviously giving their money, you sign a contract, but funds the rappers to continue to live the life that they're living. But when these rappers face repercussions, when these rappers get in trouble, when these rappers possibly get locked up, the label takes no blame. There's no repercussions on the label, and they just walk away scot-free, and they just wipe their hands, and then they're on to the next artist. And this trend really is disgusting because you're counting on two things. One, you're counting on them to continue their social media antics because that's what really got them popular, and that's what really got them on the map and on your radar. Or two, you're counting on them getting locked up because that sells a lot of stories, a lot of albums, and it promotes the artist more sometimes than their music itself. And that is a very, very, very deep-rooted problem that we have going on right now in hip-hop, especially with these younger kids, that they don't understand, or maybe they do understand, but there's no other way out of the hood than the money that the labels offer them. And that leads me to my fourth point, which is the money and how easy it is, quote unquote, to rap nowadays. Money is the one factor, or maybe one of the factors, that links the artists, the labels, and the fans all together, because in one way or another, we're all paying for music and we're all paying for these artists. If you're streaming, these artists get money. The artists, they get money from the label, and the label gets money from you streaming these artists. So that is one of the factors that combines all of us and continues to bring down the quality of the product in hip-hop. And today, rap has become so cash-driven and money-driven that these rappers just think it's easy. And that's why I made that last video on the XXL Freshman Cypher, which I spoke about before, is because they looked like they didn't even care to be there. And that's cool if you're good at something, or if you're able to get a lot of people to follow you. Like, that's very hard to do, to get so many people to follow you in rap or in any genre or any art that you do. But it's not fair to those who really try their hardest and still can't make a buzz, or still can't get promotion, or still are just locked in a box, they feel like, just to get some notoriety that this artist who doesn't really try too hard gets at any moment. Rappers want to have chains, they want to have money, they want to have diamonds, they want to have women. If you're a woman, they want to have men, like, which is fine, of course, and it comes with not only rap but celebrity status and other genres of music. But at the same time, that's where the art of rap is lost. That's why a lot of songs don't feel like they have any meaning anymore. But again, a lot of them are there for money and they're not even trying it. A lot of them aren't even there for their fans, i.e. Doja Cat, which I may make a video about, but I'm not even sure yet. But the passion is gone for making that type of music, and not every artist is going to make that type of music, but currently we don't have that type of music at all. And this brings me to my last point and fifth point, is that simply there's just other genres out there that are taking over hip-hop. Namely, the main one is Afrobeats. Afrobeats has been dominant in the charts lately. Maybe it's not number one each time, but it's very close. And artists like Burna Boy, artists like Davido, artists like Rima, artists like Wizkid, like, have truly been monstrous in not only the charts but the music that they provide to the people. And it just feels different. It's a different air, it's a different feeling. It makes you want to dance, it makes you want to get up, it makes you want to do something. It doesn't make you just want to sit in your car and listen to trap music, which is great, but sometimes it's just not enough. And we even have the resurgence of house music, which Beyonce and Drake last year both put out albums that is very house music centered. And I think it's just the shift in what people want from hip hop, and people want to dance. People don't just want to sit in the club and look at you, look at them, looking at you because you bought a bottle. Like, I'm good on that. And maybe, yes, I'm getting a little bit older, but I still have that love for rap, and I still love trap music. If I hear a dope beat, trap music has produced some of the greatest songs and the dopest beats that the world has ever known. But yet it's just not getting innovative and pushing it anywhere. So until then, everything else will come along that sounds new and fresh and kind of just take over where hip hop left off. And one of the genres that I didn't mention here yet is Amapiano. And that's because that's been my favorite genre and music to listen to since the pandemic. And I even told my girl before the pandemic or right around the pandemic that this genre is going to take over because it was just so different and so unique. And I've heard sounds from Amapiano songs that I've never, ever heard in my life before. And it's just been a breath of fresh air. It's been just like a palate cleanser also, because it doesn't follow the same just structural chorus, verse, hook, and that American music or just music on the west side of the world follows, or just music in general follows. Because there's 4 beats in a bar, I get it, and that's cool, but I want music to, 1, come from the heart, and 2, make an impact, and 3, I just want music to feel liberating. I just want music to make people feel. Hip hop to me used to make me feel something, and I took it very seriously, and I still do. And I still love hip hop, and I still love rap, and I still go out of my way to go look for artists, listen to albums, and critique music, and just be in the culture of hip hop. But lately, hip hop just hasn't felt like it's done the same to the fans that have provided love, money, resources for it for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And this year is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And this is where hip hop is. It's kind of sad to see. And like I said, hip hop isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be right here, but it does seriously have to make a change before it really slides down the scales in terms of what genres people listen to. That's it for today, guys. Please let me know your thoughts. Write them down below in the comments. If you like this video, like it as well. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. A lot of these are music centered, but if you want to see any other content, or if you want me to talk about anything else, even TV shows or anything like that, I'm down for that as well. But thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.